Hey everybody, hope this finds you doing well. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. A few news stories we're going to go through over the past week. Bitcoin currently trading around $63,000. It is basically down around 3% over the past 7 days. But as we see, we are not seeing major movement in the Bitcoin price. If we go to the Bitcoin chart, you can see that we're still above $60,000. We are waiting to see if we're going to have another leg down before the end of the year. That's definitely possible, but it remains obviously to be seen. So we'll keep you posted on that. But we're in the doldrums of the bear market. Things start to look really boring. There's still a lot of negative press and energy out there with regards to what's happening with Bitcoin, particularly when we're seeing other emerging markets like artificial intelligence doing so well. So a lot of funds are being traded in those markets as opposed to Bitcoin. So there's a lot of things that people are waiting on to see whether or not Bitcoin will actually have some type of movement towards the upside. One of those things that people are looking for is waiting to see what happens with the Clarity Act. It could or could not be a catalyst in terms of moving the market. We shall see, but it looks like the Senate has decided to keep the Clarity Act alive for now. We're still waiting on the U.S. Senate to vote on a final iteration of the Clarity Act, and the Clarity Act, as we've mentioned in other videos, has to do with setting regulations on not only which agencies, when you look at the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission compared to the SEC, which digital assets would be under those particular umbrellas, and have regulations under those particular agencies. Also, it'll give us a little bit more information with regards to what digital assets will be classified as, whether they would be classified as a commodity or whether they be classified as a security. So there's a lot of different things that the Clarity Act will define when it comes to also banking and institutions and stable coins and whatnot. So there's a lot that comes inside of that bill, and we'll get into it once we do finally get some type of finalization when it comes to the Clarity Act. But once we get a vote from Senate, which has been pushed to September, then it would have to go back to the House for a vote, and then eventually it would have to be signed into law by the president. Most likely, it's not looking good because we are in midterms here in 2026. So there's a lot of lobbying and campaigning that happens during that time. So a lot of these bills will be tabled. So we may not see the Clarity Act really being pushed into law in 2026. The odds of that happening is going down, and we see that in prediction markets. You're seeing that percentage is going down. I believe the latest shows that it's about a 10% chance or so that it would actually get passed in 2026. We're going back to the cryptocurrency market update. You can see Ethereum is down 2% over the past week. XRP is down nearly 4%, trading right at $1. Solana is down about 2%. You have Hyperliquid is actually up nearly 5%, currently trading at $57. And Dogecoin is basically flat, trading at around 7 cents. So one thing that's happening, not only is Bitcoin kind of trading and being stagnant in this $60,000 level range, but we're seeing that with some of the other major coins when you look at Ethereum and XRP, Solana, things of that nature. But there is a lot of interest in on-chain trading, and there's a platform called FOMO that is becoming really popular. It is a social trading application. Robinhood is also getting into this type of business when it comes to social trading, where you're able to see what other traders are doing, and you'd be able to get real-time information on their trades, and you can do it all in one application. You can see here there's a lot of interest in trading real world assets when it comes to particularly other people around the world who are unable to have access to the US stock market. For example, they have now tokenized assets that you can trade on chain. Robinhood chain has become very popular since it launched earlier this year. There's a few other chains that also have a lot of real world assets that are being traded on them, Solana being one. And I believe Solana has the most volume when it comes to on-chain trading. So FOMO has become very popular, and there's a lot of traders that are also becoming very popular, not only through their messaging on X, which is obviously a social application, but now you can see in real time what these people are buying and trading. So copy trading is possible if you want to follow these top traders, and you can see exactly what the returns are of these top traders, and a lot of them are doing extremely well right now. So this is a popular area of crypto that is really starting to pop off over the last several months. FOMO is becoming a really popular trading platform right now. Currently, I believe there's a couple other social trading platforms that are out there, but this is one that definitely has been getting a lot more traction and a lot more shine lately in the social media crypto trading circles. So continue to keep an eye out on that, but that is obviously something that you would want to do a lot of due diligence on when it comes to trading a lot of these meme coins and real world assets. But it is definitely something that is kind of keeping the crypto market alive. Also, when we're looking at what's going on with the Bitcoin spot ETFs, that also is another indication of kind of what's happening right now. It's a little cut off here on the side, but you can see that over the past week that we've had a lot of outflows of the ETFs, and still overall, obviously, we're seeing that there's still over 60 something $billion that are currently in the Bitcoin ETFs, but we have seen some outflows, and as I mentioned, a lot of those funds are going into other assets, particularly when it comes to stocks in AI, as well as some other commodities like gold and copper and silver. Those have done fairly well over the last year or so. So Bitcoin definitely has been in the bear market, will probably continue to be in the bear market until we see another major catalyst that will move the market. One of the things, obviously, that is a major catalyst just with markets in general comes to the inflation rate. And we got inflation numbers over the past week, and you can see that we came down 0.1 percentage points from June. We got the July numbers. So we're still seeing inflation at above 3%. So as we talk about a lot on our channel when it comes to investing in assets, it's extremely important, because if you just leave your money in a savings account, your dollar is losing 3%, 2%, and really more than that when it comes to purchasing power every single month, every single year. And so we want to make sure that we're outperforming inflation. And so if we look over the last 5 years, it also matters because it changes what happens with monetary policy. The Federal Reserve will tend to raise interest rates, which is not great for traditional markets, even including Bitcoin and commodities. And you can see in 2022, when we had these high inflation rates, that's when we saw that the market overall in general did not do very well, because that's when we had higher interest rates, because they were trying to combat the high inflation, and in order to do that they had to raise the interest rates. So we're now seeing that interest rates have been holding steady over the last year or so. We've had a couple cuts last year, and it's pretty much been steady for the most of really 2026. And so many believe that there's a possibility, if we continue to see this uptick, we could potentially see an interest rate hike maybe at the end of this year, maybe going into next year, but time will tell. If we start to see that inflation comes back down, the Federal Reserve has always said that they have, not always, but over the last couple of years has said that their target is 2%. And as you can see, we're still in this 3% range. So in order for us to get back down to that 2%, we could potentially have a rate hike, but obviously it also depends also on what's going on with geopolitical risks as well, and what's happening in the overall market. So obviously we'll have to continue to stay posted on what's happening there, but it definitely affects markets. We've talked about macroeconomics definitely matters when it comes to what's going on with Bitcoin and some of these other cryptocurrencies. So we just wanted to give you an overall broad outlook on what's kind of happening with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. As I mentioned, there's a lot happening when it comes to some of these other smaller coins and meme coins, particularly with FOMO really doing extremely well right now. A lot of traders are making a lot of money doing a lot of instant and quick trades and multiple trades, hundreds and thousands of trades in some instances. So obviously there's a lot of risk involved. So if that's something that you're interested in, you definitely want to make sure that you know what you're doing and do your due diligence before you get involved in any of that type of trading. But of course, we here are all about letting you know what's happening, just generally what's happening with the crypto markets, particularly when it comes to Bitcoin and some of the larger assets, as well as what's happening with artificial intelligence and how that melds with the blockchain technology when we go into agents, which will be doing a lot of trading most likely for us in the future. So make sure to stay tuned with us here on YouTube as well as X and Instagram. We really appreciate you watching. We hope you have a great start to your week, and we look forward to linking up with you soon on the network chain. Take care. Bye-bye.